Daily Wire with Lady Ballers is one big middle finger at everything we've just discussed, right? It takes this issue, it shows it for the mockery that it is of women and women's sports. And on cue, the left-wing establishment is horrified. Andra's in Lady Ballers, which is, you can see it if you subscribe to Daily Wire Plus. It's just a one, do we have it? Do we have Andra's one-liner? I would love to see it. All right, we'll drop it in post-production for the podcast listeners.
Getting dunks. And tucking trunks.
No, she didn't. That's the biggest I've ever seen on a lady.
So you won't be surprised to learn that Out magazine is very unhappy with Lady Ballers, in which the Daily Wire portrays a bunch of guys who decide they want to be winning basketball players, and they decide to dress up as and pretend they are women and become champions. Out magazine says the trailer for this is the worst thing we've ever seen. It is a well-known fact that right-wingers cannot make good art and don't have a sense of humor. And the Daily Wire is reminding us all of that with the new preview for its first feature-length comedy film, Lady Ballers. It goes on to say, it almost seems like the people who made the movie understand that if their premise was real, there would be real-life examples of groups of men like this taking over women's sports. There aren't. Even Leah Thomas, the University of Pennsylvania swimmer and possibly the most famous trans woman athlete in the world at the moment, was only ranked as the 32nd best female swimmer in D1 college swimming during her senior year. Now, just a little fact check before I turn it back over to you. Leah Thomas, in February of 2022, came in first in the 200-yard, the 500-yard, the 100-yard freestyle events at the Ivy League Women's Swimming and Diving Championships at Harvard. Leah Thomas, in March of 2022, won the NCAA 500-meter freestyle title. Leah Thomas, overall, by the conclusion of his swimming career at UPenn, his rank had moved from 65th on the men's team to first on the women's in the 500 and 554th on the men's team to 5th on the women's in the 200-yard freestyle, in addition to the other records that Leah set. So Out magazine better remind itself that there are actual women who read it and aren't obsessed with Leah Thomas and its lies. Actually have done some fact checking. I think is Out magazine for both gays and lesbians. Does it have to be for the Leah Thomases? Leah Thomas doesn't fit in. In any event, Andrew, here we go again.
Many years ago, I did a satire video about this so-called two-state solution in Israel, saying we ought to have a one-state solution where the entire Middle East is turned over to the Jews because the Jews run things so much better than everybody else. And I thought, that's such an obvious joke. Someone has obviously made it, must have made it before. So I don't want to steal anybody's, humor. So I went looking for it. I thought Saturday Night Live has got to have done a one-state solution joke. It's such an obvious joke. It didn't exist anywhere. And I suddenly realized all of this stuff is just lying there on the ground, waiting for the right to pick it up. This Lady Ballers thing, it's not like an act of genius to make fun of this. It's already funny. All you have to do is put it on screen. And that's really all the Daily Wire did, was they just put it on screen, wrote a funny story about it, made some funny jokes about it, and it's funny. And so the fact that the left is so exercised about it, they're just exercised about it, that they weren't able to stop it, because that's what they've been so able to do. It's all a joke. I mean, it is all hilarious because it's so absurd. And the fact that nobody, I don't know if you remember when Obama was president and Saturday Night Live writer said, he's like a wall of obsidian. He's so smooth. There's nowhere to find any humor. I mean, this is a guy who ate dogs, who smoked dope, who said, we're going to transform America. They couldn't find a single joke to make about Barack Obama. This is the mindset that we're dealing with on the left. And the fact that we can just pick this stuff up off the ground is every good reason for the right to start making culture en masse. We should just start turning out movies like this because it's just so easy
to keep doing it. I'll just add a couple more stats to our list. You have got, it's a long list of men who have competed in women's sports, but the latest happened at, stand by and I'll find it. In Illinois State Cyclocross Championships on December 3rd. Actual woman Kristen Chalmers finished third after trans athletes, these are men, Tessa Johnson and Evelyn Williamson. Tessa and Evelyn competed as a team in two of the races, claiming first place in both. They chose T. Estrodolls as their team name, referencing the women's sex hormone. Aren't you so cute, making fun of us and making fun of our hormones too? A lot of us have to deal with estrogen for real, unlike you men posing as women, and the many issues it creates in a woman's body. God bless us, I'm just saying. One of them competed in both the men's and the women's categories at a race back in March of 2020. Both the men's and the women's. Guess what happened, Andrew? I'll give you one guess. What happened when that man posing as a woman competed with the women? What place do you think he came in?
I'm guessing number one, but I'm also guessing he didn't do as well when he competed against men.
You got it. He came in first against the women.
Amazing.
In the men's race against 40 cyclists. He didn't even place. Did not even place. But Out Magazine says it's not happening, so I guess we need to believe them. I've got big news from Bonner Wines. This is only for true adventure seekers who are looking for more in their wine drinking experience than your grocery store big box wines. The Bonner Private Wine Partnership is releasing a wine so rare, it sells out practically every time it's been available. They invite you to come on an extraordinary journey to a remote vineyard where a never-before imported gem has wine enthusiasts everywhere raving. Picture this. Ready? Altitudes of up to 9,000 feet. Grapes up there defy nature's harshest challenges, thriving in poor soil, enduring extreme UV rays, and facing a thin atmosphere and volatile temperature swings. How can this be? How does the wine survive in this climate? Well, it does. The result of all this is a one-of-a-kind extreme altitude Malbec. Now, I have arranged special access for my listeners to get a bottle of this rare wine. Here's how you do it. Go to BonnerPrivateWines.com, BONNER/MK, and become a member of the Bonner Private Wine Partnership. But act fast because you don't want to miss your chance. BonnerPrivateWines.com/MK. Go there now for wine at 50% off plus free shipping. BonnerPrivateWines.com/MK today to get your wine delivered directly to your doorstep. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.